So I want to talk about running a successful virtual tax office. Okay. Professional tax preparation, remote work can blend quite well when you have the right digital tools, whether you're just starting your tax business, own a brick and mortar tax office, or a multi-location tax office. Here's what you should consider when you're transitioning to a virtual office. Okay. First of all, the benefits. Less overhead, right? All you're doing is paying your rent or your mortgage. You're in your home generally. Although today I had a call, I don't think she's on here. One of our dream team members called me and she said, what do you think about a payday loan company being inside a payday loan company? Anybody think about the positives and the negatives? Anybody have any thoughts? No? No? Boy, you're all quiet.
Okay. I think it'd be great. I think it's a great opportunity. You just have to consider the people you're going to be dealing with.
Holly, you hit it right on the spot. What kind of people are they going to be dealing with?
Probably some down on their luck, needy people.
Yeah, these are people who go into these offices like every 2 weeks. They go in their office and what they do is let's say they get a $200 loan. They get a check for $200. They give the payday loan company a check for $250. The payday loan company holds the money for 2 weeks and then cashes that check. So they made $50 on a $200 loan, right? The problem is 2 weeks later, that same client will come in and they'll do the same thing all over again. The problem with a payday loan company, and I had a payday loan company in 6 of my offices when I had my Jackson Hewitt offices. And the problem is a lot of these people, when the payday loan company tries to cash these checks, they're no good. Okay. There's probably 70–80% of those checks will go no good. The good news is it's actually a great business. The people that were in my offices were averaging 80,000 net profit in my offices every month. That's not year, every month. Okay. So what does a payday loan company bring? It brings a lot of people on earned income credit, child tax credits, low income, where they're in that market where probably their typical refunds are anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. Okay, so it is a good place to be if you want to do a lot of easy tax returns. So anyway, so they offered her a spot in the largest payday loan company in her area. And so I said, yeah, if you can get a spot in the office, and what they want is $1,500 rent for the whole tax season. That's fantastic. The negative part is obviously you're going to probably see more people with COVID coming in, things like that. So that's the negative. So if she can stay away from, being close to those people, but yet doing their tax returns, she probably has a nice little business going. So anyway, less overhead. You reach more clients. You can reach more clients with marketing, proper marketing, and you're in your office, virtual office. It's kind of easy. You can work with an app. For instance, our Crosslink software has an app called TaxPass, and so you can do tax returns for anywhere in the country. Okay. Generally, most softwares are now cloud-based. However, there are still some softwares that are done on the desktop that you have to back it up, and that's okay. Okay. Meeting clients is hard. So what are you guys doing remotely? I know all of you are virtually remotely, except for Richard, I think. What are you guys, how are you meeting your clients? Anybody? Caesar, how are you meeting your clients? Caesar, are you eating?
Through referrals, actually.
Yeah, but how are you meeting your clients?
Because you're remote.
By so far it's just been by phone, and I do meet with them at least once,
Okay.
just to get a feel for the client.
And where do you meet them, by the way?
Well, my license says I can't do it for home, so I meet them at a coffee shop, Starbucks, or their home.
Why can't you meet them at home?
Because where I live, my business license says I can't have foot traffic at home.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh, interesting. Holly, where do you meet your clients?
I am meeting them in my office. I'm in an office with somebody else, and so I like sublet. It's small, but it works perfect. But everyone is leaving California, so I'm starting to get into North Dakota, Idaho, that kind of stuff, which is going to be a virtual situation.
And how do you meet virtually then? So let's say to North Dakota, how would you meet with them?
On the phone. She was a California resident, and so I've known her for a long time, so that helps. She's not, total stranger, but usually it's just texting.
Texting? Oh, okay. So back and forth texting, that's it?
Yes, lots
Oh,
of texting.
Okay, so you're lucky. Richard, do you meet all your clients in your office or what?
Yeah, I meet all mine in the office right now. I know of, we got a couple that have moved out of the state, so we're probably going to have to think of a way of how we're going to accommodate them in a electronic or virtual format. But for most cases, everybody doesn't have a problem coming down to the office. But I think this year we're going to see a little bit of a shift of how things move with respect to the clients.
Okay. Taylor, how are you meeting your clients?
I've been doing just Zoom meetings and some phone calls.
Okay. But you do the tax returns at home, right?
Yeah, I do them at home.
Okay. Do you meet with all your clients on Zoom first or just do you use an app or what?
Well, I'm kind of changing things up. So because last year, that was my first year doing tax returns. So I met with everyone on Zoom beforehand, but now I'm realizing that can kind of be a waste of time. Like some of those clients, especially since I already know them, I'm just gonna take their forms first and prepare the return and meet with them afterwards, unless I need to talk to them.
And where do you meet? Where do you meet them?
Just on Zoom. On Zoom.
Oh, on
so
Zoom.
I have,
okay.
yeah. So for file sharing, I have an encrypted file sharing service, so we can do everything electronically, and I use DocuSign, so I don't have to meet anyone in person.
Okay. And talking about DocuSign, so does anybody use like other things like TaxDome or some of the other ones out
I
there?
use TaxDome.
And how much do you pay for that, Peosha?
They have two different packages. One is $50 a month and one is $25 a month, but I use the $50 a month because I want all of the features.
What's the difference between 25 and 50?
Automation.
Oh, okay.
Automation, things like that. So with the $600 a month, I basically only need this and I need my tax software. I don't have any of the extra stuff that everybody else does, all the workarounds. I think this is enough for me.
So do you pay 50 every month or do you cut it down to like 25 after tax season?
No. I pay $600 a year in one shot.
Oh, okay. Okay. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Marley? What do you do?
Sorry, let's see. I do Zoom, and I have been actually having them drop, because they are all local, the papers, because I don't have a secure way to gather documents. I use Pro Series, so they do have a Intuit kind of like portal, but for some reason it's a little bit clunky, and some clients they rather drive to my house and drop me the paperwork than having to figure it out how to upload documents.
So do they come into your house?
No, they don't. Well, half and half, to be honest with you. Like
Okay.
there are people that I have been doing taxes for a while. You develop a relationship. You see them once a year. It's kind of nice. It's like seeing old friends and catching up. I go to their houses at other times, and there are some that I just meet virtually. So I do a little bit of everything.
Okay. And
Um,
how about you, Heather? What do you do?
So it depends on the person. My younger 20, 30-year-olds, I text. They send me documents through Verifile. And then people that like to see my face and work with me while I do the tax return, I do it on Zoom with them. Same, was it Richard who said, Caesar, I don't remember, somebody who couldn't have, my permit's the same way. I can't have clients come to my house.
Oh, okay.
But I do have, but my business is so small. It's like, who's going to know the difference between a friend coming by and somebody picking up a tax return? So local people, they'll drop off their taxes. Some will send them through Verifile, and then I communicate through Facebook Messenger or text message or on the phone or a Zoom. It just depends on the person and how they're comfortable.
And how much is Verifile, by the way?
There is a free service, and then the more advanced one is only $9 a month.
Oh, that's a good deal. So unlimited signatures.
Yes, unlimited signatures for $9 a month. And the free, I'm not sure if you can do signatures on the free one.
Okay. I want to welcome, we have a new member, Jeanette Sarmiento. Jeanette, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening to you guys.
Okay. What are you planning on doing? You're brand new, right?
Yeah, I filed my e-fin and I sent my live scan on December 1, but until now I haven't gotten my e-fin. That's why I cannot start yet.
Okay, you'll get it any day now. I mean, and did they send anything like something is missing or anything on your e-fin?
No, I always go to the mailbox, but I haven't sent
Okay.
any letter from the IRS. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
waiting for it.
So
Yeah.
have you planned out your virtual tax office?
Oh, that's I'm not so sure yet. I think I'm gonna do it at home first.
Okay. Okay. So
And then
give me a call one of these days, okay? And we'll talk about this privately.
oh yeah, thank you, Glenn. And
Okay.
and I want to purchase the software that you have, and I have a lot of questions about it. Yeah,
Okay,
I'll give you a call. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you do tomorrow. If anybody still needs software, the price is going up on Friday. So, and it's going up by quite a bit. So you want to buy it by tomorrow if you're smart.
Yeah.
And plus you get 20% off, but still it's they're gonna it's gonna be quite high.
You mean, Glenn, from this 600, is it 699? And I'm gonna have my 20% off.
Yeah, you get
Also?
yeah. But if you buy tomorrow, you get $6.99 minus 20%.
Yo, I'm gonna buy one tomorrow.
Okay, don't forget. I
I'll talk
warned
to you tomorrow. Yeah, I'll call you.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Glenn,
Yeah.
can we circle back and talk about the virtual tax office? Can we ask around how people collect payment?
Actually, we're going to do that towards the end, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So remind me if I don't, but I know it's on my PowerPoint here.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So when you're setting up, okay, you got to set up your office. You have to be comfortable. As I hear from some of you, you can't invite people over to the house because of business reasons. I don't know if I would bring people into my house either. So unless they were personal friends of mine. So you have to be comfortable in your house, in your home office environment. You have to make sure that you have something that has a lock on it, okay? Because if you're going to do bank products, for instance, and I know some of you guys are laughing because you say, why would I do a bank product? Everybody pays me just up front. Make sure that everybody does pay you up front, okay? I've gone through years where I usually a dozen people that owe me money because one of my preparers let them get out without paying their fees. So, but you remember that everybody has to have some sort of a data plan, a security plan. Does everybody here have a security plan in effect? Yes. Anybody know? Anybody know?
I
Marley?
don't as of yet.
Okay. Are you going to get one? Do you need
Yeah,
one?
I have no choice, I guess.
Yeah, and it could be simple one pager. You know, it's just one page that says, "Hey, I have." If you do pay, if you do bank products, you must have something that you can lock up the checks. Okay, if you must be back, you make sure that you shut off your computer at the end of the day. Very simple. It's very simple. One pager. You can do it in your own handwriting if you want. Just all the things that are preventing people from getting into your computer, people stealing checks, you know, private, everything has to be private, okay? Your client's tax return needs to be kept only to you. You know, there's a story about maybe 10, 15 years ago. We fired somebody from one of the offices in Texas. What the guy did was he went into the file cabinets, took records and put it into the trash behind the office. Well, they found the trash, they found the records, and the guy went to jail for this. So things like that happen all the time. So that's what the data security plan is all about. Make sure that your clients' records are secure. They're being, you know, moved from your house to their house securely. And so make sure that you have that. Gino, are you on here? I see your name.
Yeah, Glenn, I'm here.
Do you have a data security plan?
I do, just a real
simple
basic one. Yeah.
Okay. Anything that I haven't mentioned, it's on your security plan?
I don't think so. I mean, I use like I don't have anything stored here on the local computers. It's all by Right Networks. So
are you still you're in an office though, right?
Yeah, I'm in an office, correct.
Okay. All right. So if anybody needs help with the data security plan, give me a call and we can get you something. Okay. Let's see. Appointments. Okay. You need some sort of a tool. I use Calendly. You know, if you want an appointment with me, just go to calendly.com and it shows all the hours that I have free. You make the appointment, and that's something that's cheap. You know, or you can just use a Google scheduling tool. That's free. Okay. Other ones are Acuity or Schedule Ones. Okay, MailChimp for marketing, for emailing. If you want to email your clients, you know, hey, I'm open. Remember that on the 24th, which is Monday, you can start sending tax returns. Some of you can already send tax returns. Some softwares actually allow you to send tax returns now. And you still, you know, if you have, for instance, if you have earned income credit, that still goes by the old rule of you will not get that until after the middle of February. Okay. But some of your softwares allow you to electronically file now already. Okay. Anybody here knows if your software allows you to file now? Anybody know?
Mine is, Glenn.
Yours does? Which one do you have?
I'm with Drake.
Okay.
And because I very specifically asked, I called them And I asked them, I had to amend 2019. And same thing, she said, yeah, we'll hold it and then we'll transmit all of it. She said, you know, basically they're holding it in queue and then they'll transmit it on Monday.
Oh, okay. So no, so that's not really, but there are some softwares that go directly to the, I mean, that go, you know, from the intermediary to the IRS now already. But so
Okay, sorry.
Drake,
Yeah, no.
yeah, Drake is not. But you know what?
No.
I think Crosslink is. And anybody tried with Crosslink? No? Okay. Anyway, text messaging. Okay, we actually, if you buy the Pronto tax system, you can use TextLink. What does Drake use, Holly? Do you know? For text messaging?
I want to say they have their own thing. I've never used it, so I'm not sure, Glenn.
Okay. Anybody know what?
Glenn?
Yeah.
Yes, Gino. Drake, inside their Drake portals, they have a messaging service, but it's you know, it's kind of web-based versus, you know, text-based.
Do you have to pay for it?
Yeah, well, I should just, once you pay for the Drake portals, it's included in that. So, you know, for example, if we have questions for a client, instead of emailing the questions, we send it via the messenger application, because one, it's more secure, and then two, it's kind of it's all kept in that client's file, versus before when we emailed clients, then we'd have to go and, you know, make a copy of that email and put it in their file. The other benefit with the messenger service is that everyone working can see the messages. So versus if someone just emails me the information, then I have to remember that to forward it to the rest of the team, versus this, that, I mean, everyone gets to see the messages that are sent. So
I see. Okay. All right. So you really can't do anything like privately to you then, right, Gino?
not with that messenger, no. So everyone that has access to that client's file
Right.
would see it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, so that's something to think about, you know, if it's just something just to you, like some people might have like 4 or 5 people in their office working. That might not be the good thing to do then. Telephone and messaging. Okay. Again, I'm talking, most of you guys are doing it out of home. So it's pretty simple. You're the only one that have access to the system. You know, so that's pretty simple. Always inform your clients about what's going on. Okay. Make sure that you tell your clients that you're open. I mean, I'm assuming a lot of you, like Holly, probably has the same clients coming every year, and they know exactly when she's starting and when she's ending. But make sure that for those newbies like Jeanette, for instance, make sure you let them know that you're open. Okay. And especially this year with COVID and everything, people are kind of hesitant. So, but yeah, let them know.
Um, Hello, Glenn.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't informed my friends that I will be starting my tax sooner, because I'm not so sure, because you know, I haven't gotten my EFIN. That's as soon as I got my EFIN, that's the only time I'm going to.
You're going to announce it then?
Yeah.
You know what? You're good friends, right? You can tell them the truth. Say, hey, I'm waiting for my EFIN. And start them though, get them going. You know, people, especially the ones that have the large refunds, they want to probably get in there and do their tax return as fast as possible and get that refund as fast as possible.
Yeah.
You know, talk to them though, you know, talk to them, Jeanette, say, hey, you know, I'm starting a tax business. I'm waiting for my EFIN. Technically, you should have your EFIN right around now, because it's been 45 days, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Glenn, if you promise me that if I receive my EFIN, you're gonna help me set it up.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Not a
Thank
problem.
you, Glenn.
Okay.
I just need an assurance.
Oh yeah. Not a problem.
Thank you.
Let's see here.
And sorry, Glenn, I'll
Yeah.
just one thing about the EFIN, because I was in a very similar situation last year.
Uh-huh.
And because last year was my first year doing taxes, I sent in the fingerprints and all the documentation for the EFIN in November, I believe,
Uh-huh.
like mid-November. And I still around this time, it had been more than 45 days, it had been like 60 days. I hadn't heard anything. I called the IRS multiple times, and they basically told me because they're so understaffed, they were super backed up processing everything.
Uh-huh.
And I actually didn't get my EFIN until I did get it, so I do think you'll get it in time, but I didn't get it until sometime in February. It was like kind of like mid-February.
How many
But
days?
it was a
Wow.
lot, but I did get
Oh.
it. I don't know if this year's going to be as bad, but it does seem like it might. They're still understaffed. So
Yeah,
if you sent your stuff in January, you should get it, but just don't be alarmed if you don't get it by the end of this month.
yeah,
Okay,
what
thank
you want
you.
to do when you hit 45 days, Jeanette.
I hit already.
Okay, so when we talk tomorrow,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you who to call.
Okay. Oh, Glenn, is it 45 days working? I'm sorry, working days or just the
Just
calendar days?
everything total 45 days. So if you did it like the beginning of December,
Yeah.
okay, the middle of January, you should get it. So 45 days. That's
Oh,
what they
it's already
promised.
middle.
That's
Yeah.
what they promised us,
Uh-huh.
And I know like Taylor had the problem because we were in the middle of COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And we still are sort of in COVID as
Mhm.
well, but the IRS got hit really, really hard, and I think they made some adjustments. But as a matter of fact, I got a call this morning from Victor, who's one of our Dream Team members, and he says, "Glenn, I just got a call from the IRS. They have not received my fingerprint cards." I said, "When did you send it?" He said, "I sent it beginning of December." And I said, okay. I said, have they got everything else? And they said, yeah, they got everything else. They've done the background check and everything. They just need my fingerprints. So I said, by chance, you have another copy of your fingerprint card? And he said, yeah, I got two. I said, overnight that. And I said, and also when you talk to somebody at the IRS, they'll give you their name and their number. Always take that down when you talk to the IRS. So if you talk to John, number 12345, whatever, write that down, because if he had known who he had talked to, he overnighted the cards yesterday. And I said, if you would have known who you talked to, you could have gotten hold of that person and, and expedited your EFIN. So, okay.
I'll track it because I have the tracking number. I'll try to track it.
Okay, that's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you know the tracking number, make sure you, when you make the conversation with the IRS person, you mention the tracking number, okay?
Okay, thank you so much, Glenn.
All right. Face-to-face options, you can use GoToMeeting. Everybody now is using Zoom, but there are other services available. Establish a secure document exchange option, okay? For instance, Pronto Tax Systems has a thing called TaxPass, and it's secure. So for those people that do have the Pronto Tax Systems, you can use TaxPass. And by the way, the people who use Drake is a thing called Secure File Pro. Who uses Drake here that has used Secure File Pro? Anybody?
I use it, Glenn.
And is it working? Is it secure? And
Yeah.
is it good? Is it does it come right into your software?
Correct. Yeah, it's fully integrated. So
okay. And same
we don't
thing with
have to have any
TaxPass,
issues with
by
it.
the way. So like in TaxPass, somebody sends you stuff, it comes right into your software. So Drake does the same, right?
Well, it doesn't come directly into your folder. You have to, it kind of goes onto an online folder and then you download it
Okay.
into the Find
And
folder.
how much does it take a lot of time to do that?
No, it's pretty quick. So you just have to get clients to use it at first, which sometimes that's a little bit tricky. They just want to email you information.
Uh-huh.
So, or take a picture and text it to you sometimes. But so, it's just getting them to not email it to you and to use the portal. The other thing that's a little bit inconvenient is that at the beginning of the year, they always, we have to kind of send them a password reset because typically they don't have that email saved from the prior year, so they can't access that. So they can't just start uploading stuff. So they have to call or email us, and then we have to, kind of send them a link to access that.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Be ready for non-tech savvy clients. People don't know how to use the app, for instance, and that's a common problem with TaxPass. People don't know how to use that. If you go to the YouTube channel for Crosslink Tax or the YouTube channel for Drake, you can find out how to use these particular items. The TaxPass is probably a year old, the video, but it's up to date. Okay. Let's see here. What do we have here? Service delivery. Does anybody go to other people's houses to do their taxes? No? You all do it at your office. Okay.
I actually go to a few, Glenn. It's a
do
small community up here.
Do you bring your laptop with you?
Yes, I do.
And how long does that take to do it at their house as opposed to doing it at your home?
The people I go to are elderly, and so they want to talk. So I'm going to say it's a good 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
Okay. But they're good, but they've become your friends, so to speak, right?
Yes, they are very good clients, and I've had them for quite a while, yes.
Do you charge extra for going to their house?
I haven't up to this point.
Are you going to?
I'm thinking about it. I've been on this I need to up my rates and, catch up with everybody. And I know they wouldn't mind. These are usually pretty well-to-do people.
Has everybody seen my price list for 2021 tax year? It's out. It's in your account, by the way. For those that don't ever go into your account, the new price list is in your account. Has anybody looked at it?
I have.
What do you think? High?
Higher than what I'm charging.
About how much?
Give us a sample.
How much? For the 1040, I'm 20 bucks off.
That's not bad.
But I don't charge for everything else. So it would be
that's bad.
Yeah. So it'd be like 125 or 150 for the whole return.
Okay. So I've broken the price list down to the form, and even in the software, if you buy the Pronto tax system, I even have it down to the line. If you do certain lines, you put an entry there, I have a line fee. Most of the line fees are like $1, but I did up my prices about 5%. According to some surveys that I've seen out there, the average person that was surveyed is upping their prices like 16%. But they're paying their tax preparers much more than last year. For coming into the office, and even Intuit has upped their. Is anybody here work for Intuit this year? They've actually upped their salary quite a bit as well. So I upped it only by 5%. Okay, and I gave two prices. I gave a price for somebody who's under, has tax experience under 5 years, and those that have experience over 5 years, because when you're over 5 years, generally you've had the client, 4 or 5 years, and you can certainly increase their price appropriately. Any questions about pricing?
Yeah, Glenn,
Yeah.
this is Liz. Glenn, I have a question. In your pricing, you added the federal and California, but I'm going to have some clients that are in Nevada and in Arizona.
Well, Nevada doesn't have a tax.
Yeah, but they'll have to do, I'll still have to do their taxes.
Yeah, the federal taxes.
Yes, just the federal. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
so-
Arizona, I don't have, but if anybody that needs a special state tax, I can help you with that. Because generally on state tax pricing, there's only, maybe 25 or 30 line items that I would price. So if you
Okay.
need help, like with Arizona, I'll be more than glad to help you with that.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. Let's see, where are we? E-signatures. How is everybody doing e-signatures? First of all, the people that use the Pronto tax, they can use the tax pass. Okay. Drake also has their own way of doing signatures. Anybody else doing other than those two?
I'm
E-signature.
going to try with Taxidome this year.
And what are they charging you?
$1 a signature.
$1 per
Yes.
person.
Yes,
Okay, so if it's a husband and wife, it's $2, right?
yes.
That's for KBA. So
Uh,
if you don't need KBA, it's free. Like if you don't need KBA, if they're signing a engagement letter.
Can you explain, Peoship, can you explain what KBA is?
Known-based authentication.
Okay.
Or knowledge-based authentication. So basically it's something that the IRS requires for you to authenticate the client that you are having them do e-signatures for. So say like when you check your credit report, in order for you to access your credit report, you have to answer a series of questions that only you would know the answer to. Such as what car did you have in 2005, or what address associated with you, and they'll list a series of addresses. And if you get the questions right, then you pass and you can proceed. So that's the same thing with this.
Okay.
So this is how you authenticate a taxpayer. And then once you do that, then they're able to sign. So if you were ever asked by the IRS to prove that, you'd have this proof of it.
Okay. All right. Anybody else using a different program for signatures? No? Okay. How many years should you keep your records? Anybody know?
3 to 4.
Okay, so 3 is, what's the difference between 3 and 4? Richard?
How I look at it, Glenn, is that the federal will go back 3 years on audit, but California can go back 4.
Okay, what
So-
about if it's a bank product? Do you know, Richard?
Bank product, I think it might depend on the verbiage, but a lot of times that signature document's inside what I call the client folder. So if I'm keeping the client folder 3-4 years, then I've got the bank product information 3 to 4 years.
Okay, so 3 or 4 years, okay. About 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they told us to keep it for 5 years if it was a bank product, because the banks can go back 5 years if they need to look at something. So I kept them for 5 years for when I was in the business, but now it's gone down to 3 or 4. And what is the IRS looking for when they come into your office or home? What if they are doing a review of, let's say, they'll say, hey, I want to see 25 records. Does anybody know what they are looking for? If it's just a general review? Anybody know?
Confirmation of like earned income credit, child tax credit, those kind of things there. Probably signatures on the transmissions.
That's correct. Yeah, you're right. What,
Yeah.
anything else?
Can I ask you a question about that?
Sure.
So I used to, I started H&R Block, and the only documents, which is what I kind of got used to, the only documents that we were required to keep were the signature pages, the 8879s,
Right.
and source documents that had withholdings.
Correct. Federal or
Uh,
state.
Yes, and then, but with regards to the earned income credit, the due diligence for earned income credit, child tax credit, any of the refundable credits, I don't need to be honest with you, I don't even ask the verified birth certificates or marriage certificates if the kids have, if these are stepchildren. Do you guys do that?
Does anybody do that?
I'll do it with a newborn. If I have a newborn coming in, I'll ask for a birth certificate for that. The other option is that if they're a new client and they have dependents, I will definitely request a prior year tax return, because that'll give me a confirmation that that dependent is with them for a prior year. Especially if they're new clients, I will ask for a whole lot more information versus existing clients.
But do you actually require them to show you the documents, to bring them to the, do you just ask during the interview process for the information and the relevant questions, such as, if are you married? Do you have, are these your children? Things
Well,
like that, or do you want them?
I like my wife's approach to it. Kathy is kind of like the pit bull at the front desk. Oh, yeah, a newborn child. Okay, we want to see a copy of the birth certificate. We want to see a copy of their social security card. And we have a checklist we go through. Most of the clients are not having a problem with that in any way. They understand why we're asking it. And then when I actually go through the tax return itself with them, I explain, well, why did Kathy ask you for this? Kathy asked you this because blah, 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 blah. So we kind of give the front end education, and we give them back with the back end a reason or rationale as to why. Most of the time, the clients don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Richard. I did the same thing. Only if they were born in the previous year that I would ask for a birth certificate. But no, I never ask my clients for birth certificates, or the only thing I ask for is a proof of, like an ID or something, or social security cards, especially if they have a lot of kids that I ask for social security cards, because I was in the kind of business where people were using other kids, to do their tax return and so forth. So, social security. And by the way, our last subject is going to be what to bring to your interview, by the way. But you don't need to do, Marley, you don't need to ask for, a birth certificate of every person, especially the adults.
I just wanted to see what other tax pros are doing with regards to due diligence for earned income credit, because I just ask the questions, and granted, for the most part, I know these people.
Well, you fill out the form, right? You fill out the
Yeah,
form.
so we have to fill out, and
Yeah.
we have to ask the relevant questions regarding the children, if especially are the children living with you, and do you have proof, and can you provide proof if required? But I'm not actually seeing any documents to provide any sort of proof for me to confirm that this is what they are telling me is true. I thought that, but we have, in that regards, I'm not quite sure if due diligence requires me to do, if I need to verify by visually looking at their birth certificates or marriage certificates, if they claim to be married for
Right.
stepchildren.
The thing is this, you're doing those due diligence forms, right? And remember that at the end they're signing, and what they're signing for is everything that I said here correct. So, if they lie to you, it's on them. I mean, I have had instances, where the tax preparer was crooked and putting in things, and they went to jail too. But remember that by signing on the 1040 and the state forms, you're signing to the effect that hey, everything that I put in here or everything, it's all correct. And that's both of you and the client. So.
Yeah, that's why when I go through the final signing, I go through the whole tax return, explain a lot of that stuff. And one of the new ones for us is the last couple of years, we've had folks that have passed away. So we have made the request for the death certificates because that's neat. The information on there is needed with respect to the tax return itself.
Right. Yeah.
And if we're requesting like death certificates and birth certificates, we will keep them in the file for that year, but we don't necessarily have to have a second copy for the following year. Usually we just go back to the previous year and look at it just for follow-up.
Correct. Okay.
Okay,
So,
thank-
so you have to make sure that you keep records of the 8879s, which, and then the whatever the state version is. You should read, everybody should read the IRS publication 1345. It's kind of tells you everything and anything you need to know about electronic filing. Location of files. Remember, it used to be you had to keep everything, you know, I had boxes and boxes of paper. Now you don't. Everybody just has them, you know, just a few forms, and everything else is in the computer. Make sure you back up. Very important. We've had more people crashing every year. It gets bigger and bigger. So be careful. Security, organization of files. So we said 3 or 4 years. So that's good. Getting paid. Make sure you get paid before you electronically file the return. Okay, unless they are your mother or your father, we should probably hopefully do free, but make sure you collect the money before you file. Okay, especially if you're doing a lot of returns. Let's see here. Bank products. Everybody knows what a bank product is, right? Jeanette, do you know what a bank product is?
Oh, I'm not so not yet. That's why I have fun listening to you guys.
Okay. A bank product is if somebody cannot pay you up front,
Uh-huh.
you can do a bank product and the bank will take care of taking out, you know, their fee, your fee,
Uh-huh.
and the client will get whatever remains. Okay. And
Mhm.
ask me that question again tomorrow and I'll go more in depth about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Payment options. You know, it's funny. I actually got caught this year. I paid by credit card. I owed money. And on the last day of the of tax season, I filed my return. I paid the money. I got a letter from the IRS and they said, you haven't filed yet. Well, I have proof, credit card, you know, and and so forth. I still haven't heard back from them yet, but I did pay, and I did pay what I owed. It wasn't like, you know, you did this wrong, you did this wrong. It was, hey, you haven't filed your tax return. And luckily I kept my credit card bill and you know, my bill was, I have a copy of my bill and everything. So so be careful if you pay by credit card. Okay. PayPal, Venmo, those are common. Venmo is actually free. PayPal is a minimal amount. I paid like $2.75 to send my check by credit card.